Co-parenting boundaries. Man, I cannot wait for y'all to hear these 3 boundaries that you can put in place even if you haven't began co-parenting yet. Let me tell you why. These 3 boundaries will help you be able to communicate better and just create a better overall environment for your child. These are the 3 boundaries that every co-parent set needs.
Space, communication, and a work-life balance.
And it's already rolling on us, so we're really already having the conversation. So, what is space to you? Define space.
Space to me is worth living separately. So sometimes that if we're not together, that I want to have my time with the kids. So like if you call, sometimes I don't get angry, but it's like you just have your time with the kids, let me have my time with them. And then when I say I'm going to call you right back, you kind of get an attitude, but it's like I don't want you to get attitude. It's nothing like I'm just having my time with them right now, basically. So that's what my space means. Also, like if I want to go out and do something with them, it's okay for you to feel a certain type of way because you're used to us like all doing something. But like you get to take the kids out and y'all do something, and I don't feel that type of way. But a lot of times when I take them to go do something, you kind of, I don't know if you feel a certain way, but space, yeah, that's really what I mean by space.
That's dope. I think the reason why it's important that I respect that space is because the way you parent and the way I parent is like different. And so not the way you parent is bad or mine's better. Mm-hmm. It's that we do parent differently. So
for sure.
I think that that's important. That's very important for us to be able to communicate that because I respect that. That is definitely space.
Why would communication be good for you?
Communication for me is good because I do have, there's sometimes where it's like there's schedules or there's tasks that I have to do where I've been doing it for so long, so it's just like the career field that I'm in. So I can do big tasks in little time. So sometimes it's like those little pockets where you think I'm zoning out, but it's like, man, I'm really tapped the fuck in.
Okay.
And so when things are communicated like last minute, I may be balancing one of those tasks where my job is really on the line, but you may feel like, oh, you don't give a fuck, and it's just like, man, I'm actually doing this task because I give so much fucks. And, but the communication, like in the real time, even like, I know there was a point in time where you would just hang up. So like when you say like the space and like you've been able to say, hey, I'm going to call you back, like even that little bit of communication. Now that we have like that, we've defined what that space is, it's like now the communication can be more effective because we're talking to one another. It's kind of like, yes, we're on a team. So the communicating is like, go left, hey, pig's coming. So it's like if you foresee things, and even for myself, we've been, I would say doing better with knowing, hey, next week I have this coming up versus like, hey, today I'm trying to do this. So yeah, communication, even if you think the answer is going to be no, like communicate it, like I've said before, hit me up first. Like if you need anyone to watch, always hit me up first, even if it's your week and you have them, like, because I don't ever want to be in a situation where it's like I wasn't there or didn't come through. So yeah, that's how I think about it. What do you think about that?
I think communication is key for any situation, especially co-parenting, because there's children involved, so whatever we have going on, they never need to know about whatever we have going on. We kind of have standards, like basically he knows what I expect out of him when he has the kids, what he expects out of me when he has kids. Like he knows that Shy has to go to school at this time and needs to be picked up this time. I know that Shy needs to be picked up this time, go to school this time. Just certain things like that, like doctor's appointments. When a kid kids become very like emotional, like I communicate like, hey, he's either had a good day or he's been sad all day.
Oh, I can see where the boundary of space and the boundary of communication sometimes could conflict.
It can.
Because there are times where we were just calling one another to communicate something, but that space was invaded, and it was taken as like, oh, you know, you're invaded. Like, damn, I said I'd call you back to snap, but it's like, no. Like the day he had the several accidents.
Oh yeah.
I had been calling you already all day, but then I got him. It's like, dang, in my mind I was like, I'm not, but it's like, nah, we calling your mama. Like, so definitely that I use communication as a boundary to avoid conflict. And not that I'm trying to assume a conflict is going to happen, but it's like I would rather communicate it to you and have the conversation than I not communicate it, and now we're in a conversation about not communicating.
Versus me, I'll let it go and not tell him anything and figure it out.
And then ask for when they can't figure it out, then you ask for help, then that's when I'm upset.
Yeah.
I think I use work-life balance as a boundary, and more so it's like just a terminology. So in like any subculture, you can discuss work-life balance, right? So like, what does it look like in co-parenting? And it's knowing like what the other parent's like work schedule is and like respecting that. So like, but they also have to live a life. We just had a conversation the other day where I was like, live your motherhood. I was like, I don't care, put you first. And it was out of an argument, like we were going to get some food. I was like working, but she was off work, so she's like living her life. So it's like finding that balance where, okay, your schedule is like this, and like that's how we're able to be here today. It's like our work-life balance is allowing us to coexist. And there was a time where like that wasn't it. It was always either I'm working or I'm busy or I'm doing this. And so once we started communicating our work life, like this is when I'm living, this is when I'm going with my girls, or like, hey, this is I'm finna go out of town. Once we start doing that, now we're able to plan like vacation trips like with the kids, because it's like, okay, well, once you've built up communicating that you're going to go do this weeks in advance, and they communicate to you what your partner communicates to you what they're doing weeks in advance, now you can just start filling in the blank. Okay, so do we actually want to do something with the kids like when our time is, you know, free, or are you just trying to like turn up? Maybe you just want to read a book, like whatever it is. That falls into the space of communication. So like the work-life balance is like if you can define the space for both of you all, and then you can communicate, you'll create a work-life balance for sure.
It's not easy because it's like you work to maintain this life that you have, that you want to like provide for your children, but then you suppress yourself by like, oh, I'm not spending enough time with my children because I work so much. But you just have to always find like what really works for you. Like Mariyo said, like we're here today because we literally put this on the schedule. Like we sat down like, hey, what day can we get together? What day do we not work? What day are we gonna have to not have the kids? So it's just like, it is like boundaries that you do have to set in order to maintain a work life and still have like a structured life with your children too as well. So that's what I want to.
I'm Mariyo Deon. I'm a father first and foremost, and I'm an artist.
I'm Nessa. I'm a mommy. I'm CEO of 807 Lash. You can follow me at 807 Lash. Thank you.